So way back when I was in the 3rd grade, I had this bus driver, like a lot of people do. He was a little bit older of a guy to me at that time, so I think he was like in his 30s. He had black hair, like this humongous, thick, like black mustache, like freaking caterpillar. And one weird thing, it's kind of random, but like what I always remembered about him was these humongous round rimmed glasses. I'm talking like, he was like pedophile status. Like thinking back on it now, like I should have seen it coming, but I was like 9. My mom would always watch us get on the bus through the windows in our house. Like we didn't have that long of a driveway. We'd stand at the end, wait for the bus driver. They would pick us up and we'd go, right? He was new that year, and so he had just started on my route. I don't know if he was like new, but on my route, yeah. I noticed that every time I got into the bus, he would always stop me and say, you know, hi Brooke, or hey beautiful, or something like that. It was kind of creepy. And hi Brooke is not creepy, but the way he was saying it was, I guess. Calm, but like menacing. The beautiful comment to a 9-year-old, like, yeah, people might say, oh, you're so cute or something, but to be like, hey, beautiful, that's just, to me, that's creepy. The guy said that to my 9-year-old way in the future. I don't even have children. What? Some guy said that to a future child of mine that was like 9 years old. I'd be like, yeah, no. You know what else is beautiful? The lights of Jesus if you don't back off. But it just always make comments to me like that. Every time I got on the bus, every time I got off. One day, I was a stupid 9-year-old, and all the girls at school were bringing these like lower cut shirts and shorter skirts to school, putting them on in the bathroom, and then going about their day. Some would get called to the office being like, you need to change, you're like 9 years old. And others, they would just let go and be like, oh, we don't care about her. It's only sometimes we care. So I thought, I'm gonna join in. I'm going to bring a shirt that I borrowed from my friend and a shorter skirt that I had. My parents never knew about this, so mom and dad, if you're watching, sorry. Love you guys. I brought my shirt and my skirt to school. I went into the bathroom and I changed. I went through the whole day without them saying a word about it. And this was a pretty short skirt. It wasn't like to my knees. It was like halfway up the thigh, if you know what I'm saying. So like thinking about it, why they never said anything, I don't know, just my luck. It comes to the end of the day. I go with my friends to get on the bus. I had a ton of friends on my street where I lived, especially during elementary school and middle school. Like we were all pretty close. So we all go walking towards the bus. I get on and he stops me again. He looks at me and says, isn't that skirt a little short? I'm getting freaked out, thinking he's gonna like talk to my mom and dad. I answer back, thinking he remembered what I was wearing in the morning, which is creepy too. Oh, well, my friend gave me an outfit to put on and I just wanted to put it on. You know, stuttering, I'm nervous at this point. I'm thinking I'm in big trouble. Little 9-year-old Brooke got in trouble a lot, so I was used to it. I was a problem child. Out of my brother, sister, and I was the one who always got in trouble. He answers back, and he's like, well, you look really good in it, so I guess it's fine, right? I wasn't freaked out. I guess at the time, you know, I didn't really think about it. I was a young girl, so those kind of things like didn't really resonate with me. I do, of course, my parents, you know, always taught me like stranger danger, like I said in my last video and stuff like that, but he was my bus driver. I saw him every day that I went to school, and so I wasn't really freaked out by it. I was a very insecure, pale, freckle-faced, blonde girl when all the other girls in my school were dark-haired and super tan, and even at 9 years old, like I was insecure. I kind of took it as a compliment at the time. Now, when I'm telling you right now, this story takes a creepy turn, I'm not over-exaggerating. Like, this story takes a dramatic turn. Morning, and keep in mind, this was a long time ago, so I don't really remember why. My mom walked to the end of the driveway with me, and watched me get on the bus. I think she was telling my bus driver something. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to ask her, so stay tuned. Yeah, I just went and asked her and she has no idea. So I was like 9, so. When my mom walked with me to get me on the bus, that morning, he did not say the usual, like, creepy stopping me and being like, how's your morning? Hi, Brookie. Hey, gorgeous. How are you? He just stopped. Oh my gosh, I just noticed there was a fuzz on my shirt. He just stopped. I got on the bus, kind of looked at him, like waiting for my usual greeting, and there was nothing. He just looked straight ahead, didn't say a word. I got on the bus and he just kind of smiled at me. Now, this is where my 9-year-old brain kind of got suspicious. I might have been young, but I wasn't a dummy. I noticed the change in his personality when my mom was standing there and when she wasn't. No, I get on the bus, I sit with my friends, it's just a normal school morning. So I go through school all day and then I go to get on the bus. My bus driver, when I get on, stops me again and asks me, why did your mom walk you up to the bus this morning? I didn't know why he was asking me that. Was she not supposed to? Was he mad that she did it? He had kind of an annoyed tone to his voice. I must have told him. I don't remember what I said. His expression, his face, everything like completely changed. His face like lit up. And he was like, oh, okay, well, it was nice seeing her. I went and sat with everyone and was kind of thinking about it. Why did he ask me that? Like, why does he pay so much attention to me? I got to talking to one of my neighbors and she told me that, yeah, like he does that to her too. So we lived in this humongous neighborhood and this is relevant to the story. There was like a little cul-de-sac and then you go up the street and you take a right and then it's my whole like super long street. This was a Midwest town. There were a lot of like neighbors and cul-de-sacs and everything around where I lived. She lived around the corner from me on one of the streets off of mine. She had told me that he was also kind of creepy with her too. And I guess she was a little more observant about it than I was at the time. She told me that he would always like put his hand on her shoulder when she went to get off the bus. She was one of the last ones off the bus. So I think he thought that like there weren't a lot of people around so he could get away with more. She was also kind of a loner. I was extremely extroverted. I always have been, and I had a ton of friends that were like a couple houses down from me. Like we were all kind of like a family. So they would always be on the bus with me, if that makes sense. I kind of thought about it and I was like, well, he's never like put his hand on my shoulder. She told me that he says the same things like, good morning, gorgeous. So after talking to me, she stopped riding the bus. I caught her at school and I asked her, hey, why haven't you been on the bus? She had told me that she just didn't really want to ride the bus anymore, that she wanted to be taken to school and dropped back off at her house. And that was it. So, being a little naive at this point still, but being a little curious, I was like, are you sure it has nothing to do with our conversation? With this like super panicked look, she was like, what conversation? The last conversation that we had about the bus driver. She just kind of looks at me and is like, no, it has nothing to do with that. I just don't want to ride the bus anymore. Walked away and that was it. After this conversation, like I got a bad feeling, obviously. I mean, kind of thinking about telling my mom that I didn't want to ride the bus anymore and why. So I go to get on the bus that day and I was walking with my friend and I was gonna call him David. He doesn't say anything to me and I always noticed like it was always when I was with other people or, my mom walked down with me. It was always when I was alone would he be creepy with me. When I tell these stories, I'm not making this up. I have 1,000,000,001 stories. I attract weird things into my life. I attract weird people. I feel like sometimes it sounds almost like I'm just trying to tell a story. So when I tell you this next part, I swear it's true. That day, we were heading down the cul-de-sac next to the street that I lived on. So I knew my stop obviously was coming up soon. I was just talking to my friends, you know, hanging out, showing them stuff, laughing, just stuff we did all the time. At this point, I look up and we're about 6 houses down at one of my friends' houses. I didn't notice because I was carrying on and like talking to a bunch of my friends that didn't get off yet apparently, and I didn't really notice what was going on around me. This like freaked me out because I'm a 9-year-old girl, so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I missed my stop. Also thinking about the creepy interactions that I have had and my friend had, and now I missed my stop. Is he gonna let me off? All these things started going through my mind. Oh my god! Okay, so sorry, I just had to leave. Somebody, no joke, like sorry to interrupt this story, but brand new story. And then I'll go back to that one. Like 2 teenage blonde girls in front of my apartment complex. My parents live next door. They just backed their black, like humongous SUV, sorry, and I'm like rattled. They backed their SUV into 2 cars parked out front and like backed away and almost ran my mom over trying to flag them down and like sped off. So the police are here, and just so you guys know, I'm not lying, hang on, you can see the police car. You can see it flashing right there, and it freaking, well, you can see the blue light now. It like backed in and totally tore up the side and the bumper of this other car. So my god, that's insane. Like right when I was filming this video, we don't know whose cars those are, so we can't just be like, hey, your car's got like totally demolished. So we're gonna leave them a note and tell them what happened. But oh my gosh, that was insane. Like I heard it filming my video like super loud, and there were a bunch of people out there like when I ran outside, and they were like all standing around. My mom called 911. That's why the police came, and like these 2 dumbass teenage blonde idiots, they like, wow, that was insane. So I'm gonna go and try to tell my story still. Police are here. There are people outside. They're taking statements. So, whew. Okay, I hardly remember like where I was at. I think I was in the middle of telling where I was on the bus, and oh yeah, he missed my stop. And so he was like 6 houses down at one of my friend's houses, and I was talking to other people and I wasn't paying attention. So we're gonna go on there. Go to get up and tell my bus driver, and I was freaking out, like I said before. I remember saying that, because I genuinely I was scared that, you know, I wouldn't be able to get dropped off. I don't know, I was young. I'm gonna have to go back to the school, and they're gonna have to call my parents, just like kind of ridiculous stuff. Then I go up to my bus driver, and I'm a little bit panicking, and I'm like, we missed my stop, like help. He told me that we would just drop everybody else off, and because he had to be en route, and then we would come back, swing back, and drop me off. Sorry, there's a lot going on right now. My boyfriend just went outside with my mom to stand with her and talk to the police. He wasn't here, he just got home from work, but I had to tell him what happened, and then he was like, oh my gosh, let me go out there with her, and then let me see the damage, and like maybe I can see whose cars they were. Back to the creepy bus driver story again. I just wish I could like punch those girls in the face and like take their phones away like an angry parent and be like, stop texting, because I'm sure my dad said he saw them like really when they were driving down the street. He kind of saw them, and he could make out it looked like, hang on, my cat's like messing with something. It's a really messed up video. Like I'm trying to stay focused. My dad said they looked like teenagers, like driving super fast down the road, and they were 2 blonde girls. Like after my bus driver, getting back to the story again, this is like a clusterfuck of a video, but I'm gonna try to get through it. I ain't wasting all this recording time. After my bus driver had told me that, I didn't know what else to do. I was like, oh, are you sure? And things like that, because I didn't want to be the last one off the bus. It kind of freaked me out after everything. And to make a really long story a little bit shorter, he had got to like dropping a lot of people off, and so the last couple of people were like towards the middle back-ish in the back. And so I was the youngest one left on the bus. And he was like, Brooke, come here, come talk to me. That's even creepy. Like, just drive the damn bus. Don't tell me to come over there and start talking to you. I'm a 9-year-old girl. Naive little Brooke. I sit and talk to him, just, you know, normal stuff, right? And it got to my house. And like I said, I was the last one, like a million times. I go to walk up to go off the bus. And he stops me again. I know this is a lot of like, stop, go, but he stopped me again. He was like, do you want some candy? Which, as cliche as it sounds, like creepy guy with a bus full of candy, it actually happened, whether you want to believe it or not. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take some candy. I go to walk off the bus and he keeps the bus doors closed. I am really panicking. He's like, yeah, man. He was like, did you have a good day at school? Like, trying to start up a freaking conversation with me. No, I want to go home. I want to go home and take a nap. Like, we were on some kind of like awkward Tinder date or something. Like, yeah, I had a good day at school. Oh, that's good. You know, I have to tell you something. I wish that you were the last one off the bus every day. Because I love talking to you. I love seeing your face. And you just give me such warmth. And I remember this clearly because at this point, I was like, okay, I'm going to go in the house if I don't die. And I'm going to tell my mom, like, I'm not riding the bus anymore. Okay, pausing the story again. I know it was at like a climactic, like, creepy part. But I want my boyfriend to tell you guys what happened when he was out there. So, hang on.
Hey guys, so they don't know who it is. Probably they live around the neighborhood, because if you're going down this street, chances are a lot of people just book it. And so the neighbors who had the Honda said that they were actually going to start to sell the car soon. They were trying to sell it, and this happened. So
sad.
Luckily they have insurance. It's just, you know, it's going to reduce
and the fact that they hit the cars and then booked it, probably texting, that just pisses me the hell off. Like, it's just not fair.
Yeah, it's just, don't be a dick. Pretty much. Just be cool, don't be a dick.
You heard it from Benny here first. My goodness. So then he still has the doors shut. And I'm sitting there and I'm kind of just staring at him with this like naive little look, like, please let me off this damn bus. Then I was like, oh, thank you, that means a lot to me. I don't know why I said that. I was just trying to get the hell off that bus and like run into my house. You're so welcome, you're just such a cutie pie. And no joke, reaches up and pinches my face. In all seriousness, that's not okay for an adult in any circumstance, whether, you know, they're your teacher, your creepy ass school bus driver, unless they're a family member that's close to you. Don't let anybody pinch your cheeks that's an adult. That was like a stupid, like, hey guys, just so you know, if you're a little kid, don't let people pinch your face. I don't know what to do at this point. I just stand there and let it happen, because I'm at my house and I see my parents looking out at me through the window. Then he opens up the doors and he's like, have a good day. And I bust my ass out that door. My mom ended up driving me into school and dropping me off after a little while, and she was gonna say something. But then we found out that, super oddly enough, pretty sure he got enough complaints. We found out that he was no longer my bus driver. So I started riding the bus again. Needless to say, never want to run into that bus driver again. Actually, no, I do, because I'm way older and I will kick his ass. Old grandpa butt. Or, you know, just yell at him and throw stuff at him. Hey guys, so that was my very eventful second video. My second story time. So if you guys like the story times, be sure to comment and let me know. Thumbs up the video. And as always, please subscribe. You guys can hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. I will put all of them in the description bar down below. Or on the screen if I can figure that out right now. I really want to thank you guys again for watching. If you are new here, welcome to my crazy life. I hope to see you guys in the next video. And until then.